Someone gave me a what if this morning. It's not going to end up in anything concrete or anything like that, but I want to have a go at it, basically. At ArcoLinux you can build our ISOs. If I can build it, you can build it. That's the build your own ISO thing, right? Build your own ISO. And the user asked, do you have GNOME? I said, yeah, sure, we have GNOME. Do you have GNOME with Zen kernel? I said, no, we don't have GNOME with Zen kernel. It's the regular kernel. So, what if? What if I wanted to have a kernel? Control, no, let's do this, and then git clone, and then finish the sentence. Oops, let's do this. So what if I want to build a GNOME thing? And that's easy, that's just running number 40. But what if I want to have the linux-ZEN kernel? Now, there's definitely a way to install extra packages. It's just at the end, that's where it's logical to put it. So linux-ZEN and linux-ZEN headers. Now the thing is, we can build it, but yeah, it will be on board. Will it boot from it? No, right? It will not build from it. Can we do it anyway quickly? Well, we can boot from the ISO from the Linux kernel, and since we've put it as a package, I'm making quotes in the air now, it's gonna be on the squash file system, the compressed file that we're currently making in this particular folder. That's gonna be in the B build, right? In here we are actually telling him to make our future system ready. This is our Linux directories that we get. So in here will come the linux-ZEN kernel. Now, it's not that easy to get the linux-ZEN kernel as boot up. Now, if that's not an issue, that's okay for you, that's fine. So you have an ISO that has two kernels on the reboot. Well, after installation, right? You'll have two, and the only thing you have to do is say, hey, it's gonna be that kernel that's gonna be in control. The other way is much harder. The other way, having GNOME and Zen, just hit me. There's another way, right? We have so many things shared. Here he is, an ArcoLinux Zen ISO. What if you take this one, the ArcoLinux Zen kernel, Control find Zen. What if you take this GitHub, Control C, and then go to the desktop, copy paste that one, and the Zen kernel is by default here, right? You boot up with the Zen kernel. What we don't like here is that Xfce is there, and Xfce is defined in the file here. So what if, right, it's always thinking, what if I replace this one with the other one? So this contains GNOME. Now we better do a melt. So this is the one for GNOME. Well, let's do a Control C, Control V first. So this is GNOME. If we do this one gone here, and we use as root folder the Xfce, but we don't want in reality the Xfce, but we want the GNOME. We replace this one with this, but It's not that easy, so better have a look with melt, compare, and see, right? And see. So in GNOME we're using the terminal fonts and Quantum Qt and so on. We still have arender and ASCII NEMA here, GNOME software htop. But the major thing is here. Xfce 4, we have all of that. So now we don't have Xfce 4 anymore. Just overwritten, Ctrl Z, Xfce 4 and goodies. That's it, boom. It's overwritten. And yeah, sure, why not keep the make init CPU firmware, so all these errors you see when you build your boot files, we don't see them anymore. Thunar archive plugin is gone. That's okay, because we want GNOME. All the Thunar things are gone. Here, mugshot, Monoliber, that's definitely Xfce, so they're gone as well. We want to boot up with Zen, so we need to keep that in. Okay. Yeah, so when now we have a decision to make, GNOME or the kernel. I think the kernel is more important than the GNOME. Configuration of Calamares. So I'm gonna keep this. Here we have the GNOME dconf. So we're gonna keep the GNOME one. And here as well, we're gonna keep GNOME. We don't want Xfce, so that's gone. Logout in GNOME is not necessary. Local application, no. Goake auto start, sure. That's GNOME. Face is the Xfce. Arch ISO, no need for it. No need for that. Speed test Python. Okay. GNOME software, sure. GNOME screenshot as well. Why would we not like GNOME screenshot in GNOME? And Quantum Qt6, your decision, right? You'll see if you want it or not. And there we go. You make your own decisions, your own Lego blocks. That's all we do. Choose Lego blocks. And we say save. So that's a way to do things. And in the meantime, this one, the other what if, is building its ISO. But I'd like to try and see if I can change the ArcoLinuxS-Zen. And of course, guys, we're now doing the exercise of GNOME, right? But it applies to all 30 desktops. Basically, pick out your Lego blocks, compare, read, see the differences. More easy if you see the differences. You can check out, and well, over 6 years time, right, you have looked up every single application that's in here with PAMAC, which is a great tool to have a look and link. What does this do? Do we need this? And so on. And it's always a choice for any ISO builder or any user, end user, to say I want that or I don't want that. So it's choosing. In the meantime, so if we go back to the desktop, this was the Arco GNOME approach and adding kernels. This is making sure that we can boot with Zen kernel. That's probably not possible here because he's not, well, the Zen kernel is just an app, it's just there. But here we are setting it to be the common, well, the default kernel, and then adding the GNOME to it, or DK to it, or I don't know, making a Kodi ISO. It's all possible. It's just your brain that holding you back. Okay, So let's pause the video. Let's have a look what happens with this one, then build the other one. Let's see what happens with that one. And then I'm satisfied that my what if is, well, solved or answered. All right, let's pause. All right, GNOME is out. And now we test super F7, template, clone, GNOME, and then we put it in. The out folder. While we're doing that, let's get to the desktop and tell Zen, hey Zen, go and build already. So that's the Zen with GNOME. So what happens with option 1? We started with ArcoLinuxB-Gnome. And we boot up, most likely, with a Linux kernel. I could have seen that in the beginning, but I missed that. So, let's see. Seems like it's taking longer every single time. Anyway, here we are. And then term inl. This one is good, whatever, right? And that's the default kernel. So we're booting up with the default kernel. But yeah, why would you do this? Because installing the linux-ZEN kernel has been possible since forever. It's now on the ISO, yes. So if you don't select it here, it still is on the ISO. So there's that. The Zen kernel is already there, but let's not select it and see if I'm right. We have to wait for the other build anyway. So next, erase, next, next, and done. Voila. Let's pause again. I will come back later after, well, it's when we need to reboot. Pausing. Time to reboot. What if option 1? Aha, we get to choose the Zen anyway. So if I boot up with Linux kernel and put the package Zen in there, I'm actually booting up with Zen. The only caveat is, of course, if the hardware needs, for some reason, Zen, right, to be able to boot up from the USB. But otherwise, buy and buy. This is your GNOME. Actually, F12 is there, so let's use it. And there you go. I go away. F12. Here you have it. Zen. So that option is not maybe that bad. Okay. All right. In the end, you boot up. You have a Zen kernel. Option 2 has been built or not. Let's have a look. Option 2, this was option 1. We have an ArcoLinuxB-Gnome. We've added the Zen kernel. This was option 2. We start with the Zen XS-Zen ISO. And make it aware that there is also GNOME rather than Xfce. Will give us some issues, but I think we can overcome them. So template clone, This is Xfce, and we've created our own version from it. So we go to ArcoLinux out, this, that, boot. What happens? So we have the Zen kernel, linux-ZEN, fine. No surprise there, right? So we're actually booting up with the Zen kernel if it's necessary. It's necessary. Do we need to build an ISO? No, we can just use ArcoLinux XS-Zen, remove Xfce, there's a desktop treasure, install GNOME. Done, right? No need to build an ISO. But what if we wanted to? That's what came into my brain when a user asked something on Telegram. There's so much possible, right? With all the data, all the GitHubs we've put online, it's all transparent, it's all out there. You just need to wrap your head around what's the process. And this is normal, right? Like I said, this is gonna be tricky. First of all, Wayland and VirtualBox. Live user never has a password. So enter. If I can. So live user, enter. And then and then we wait. It's a slow GNOME. He is going to install. Let's do an easy installation. Let's do whatever, right? Authenticate. Is Calamaris going to have issues? That's what I'm wondering. There might be some things left behind, maybe. But will it crash? So what we did, F12, Velo. Let's install Sublime Text and Platinum Searcher and Meld, and that's that. Let's go to the files, which probably is going to be this. That's files. And then other locations. ArcoLinux. Oh, this is so not nice. A little bit bigger. Still not nice. So many space between it. Enfin, right? Calamaris. Why is Calamaris not at the top? Because it likes to order things differently. Does it? Order things differently. How do we order things normally? Oh my god. Calamaris. Let's just start typing. Foldering. And here there is no open terminal here in this particular application. But the fact that we were not logged in is because it thinks it's gonna have Xfce, and we've changed it. We've told them, hey, it's gonna be GNOME, right? None of these files reflect the fact that we have switched. Well, we do have Zen, we do have GNOME. So let's pause. All right. We can restart the system and let's see what we get. So the second option was ArcoLinux XS, Xfce stuff out, GNOME stuff in, and we do have Zen. So that's a win. But the other one had Zen as well after reboot. And then it wants to know who I am. Cool. Now you know the drill, VirtualBox. Make sure you are on gnome.xorg. Ouch. This is gonna be my look. Package is missing? Or is it an Xorg Wayland thing? Does not seem to change. Nothing present, nothing, no reaction here. So I guess option 2 might still be a little bit off. Sudo pacman -s gnome. Let's see if we install some more. Yeah, we do install 88.98 megabyte more. Well, 57 packages. So no, reinstalling. But there is some packages where, and there's also GNOME extras as something else. Well, let's do this first. Sudo reboot. We can always install more GNOME extras. How do you know the names? Arch, Wiki, GNOME. And you read the text. Let's check. There's no mention of Wayland at all. Alright, so we need some extra packages, whatever we've added on the packages files. Well, basically it's an easy fix, just type GNOME. So in here, I don't know what we've done. We have done GNOME. GNOME extra is not there. So whatever it is, we fixed it after installing it. Strange, right? And this is your Sherlock Holmes moment. Then you go and have a look and see if you can figure it out. But that's not part of this video. The video is already 23 minutes. So just sharing a what if that maybe trigger something, a what if in your mind, and it's all out there. It's all playing games, it's all changing and adding and removing and playing around with settings. Now another what if that now comes to mind is, what is the GNOME extra? What extra stuff is in there? Cheese, the conf editor, we don't want that as well. Endeavor, which is number 7 there in the middle, and GNOME dictionary, GNOME games, GNOME multi-writer. So all of that is not installed. 238 megabytes if you want that as well. It's just a word, and you got 206 extra packages with that word. Et voila. There are QEMU things in here. Why are there QEMU things in here? We did not ask that. So I suppose that's part of GNOME extra. We're in VirtualBox, right? There's no need to have QEMU. How about that? So another Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, we've added this one. Yeah, sure. But why give me all the rest? That's strange. Probably part of, which I'm not gonna explore. But we do have a GNOME, right? We do have a GNOME. based on the ISO of ArcoLinux XS-Zen with the Zen kernel. And maybe last check, probably no Xfce, but and nothing strange either. So the ArcoLinux or the Calamar stuff is gone as well. So the leftovers that we have, the ArcoLinux stuff that we have, is looking good. There is the ArcoLinux Xfce git there. You see it? That's something that's a leftover. So you remove that one, and that's just fine. All right. Oh, see another one that you can remove as well. This one is an extra one. No, the rest is good. All right, my what if, it's enough. Enjoy the learning. Cheers.